President Boston. Here. Vice President Tippleman.
Here.
President Navarre. Here. President Seeley. Here. Senator Galagi. Senator Baker. Senator Bell. Here. Senator Cantu. Here. Senator Castellanos.
Here.
Senator Catherwood. Senator Copeland. Senator Dyson. Senator Grimm. Senator Hart. Senator Higgins. Here. Senator Jacobs. Senator Hood. Senator Jawad.
Here.
Senator Jobe. Senator Johnson.
Here.
Senator McDaniel. Senator McLeod.
Here.
Senator Mohammed.
Here.
Senator Morris.
Here.
Senator Morrison.
Here.
Senator Mosley. Senator Muniz. Senator Brady.
Here.
Senator Nagarajan. Here. Senator Novak.
Here.
Senator Parrish. Here. Senator Patel. Senator Rodriguez. Senator Rogers.
Here.
Senator Ross.
Here.
Senator Severin.
Here.
Senator Shaka. Here. Senator Showtime. Senator Sweetland. Senator Thomas.
Here.
22.
Senator Short.
2.
So let's do this.
This is the worst week ever. It's not. Right. We need 2 people.
Text your friends.
Rita.
Somebody that's not here and ask them to get here quickly. In the meantime, let's go ahead and let's do the present.
Okay.
Roll call after she presents. And if she doesn't fill out form, then we'll see y'all. Either we're done or we wait.
So we have someone from the Cowan Center, the executive director of the Cowan, who wants to introduce us to an event. So you can come up here and speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Divya.
Of course.
Thank you so much. This seems like such a great group.
I'm so sorry we don't have an entire Senate.
Your quorum yet to make some decisions, just voting. This is coming. Are you helping us around? We put them everywhere. Sometimes they don't stay up. Sometimes they land in someone's bedroom or dorm room or apartment before we get the word out. I went to see this in Austin last year. They did the South by Southwest twice in Austin, and they brought them back. And they're a whole lot of fun. It's just high energy. They're 2 strings players. They met in orchestra class, like in middle school, and went on their ways after high school, and then they got back together and started black violin. They've been all over the world. And they have a DJ who works with them and a percussionist. And they do everything starting with their classical roots, and then they mishmash with hip hop and R&B and rock, and I mean they'll sing a John Legend song, or one of the guys is the main vocalist. They don't do everything with but it's bluegrass, it's everything, but mainly it's classical and hip hop in my opinion. That's kind of the main crossover that they do. So they're taking, centuries old style music, which is they play awesomely, and then taking it into today's music and having a good time with it. So they're a lot of fun. It will be we're having a school show, so we have the school buses coming. If you want to come to that one, you can. Like if you have a night class and you want to come to that one, you're welcome to. And the nighttime is at 7:30, and that's next Tuesday on the 11th. If anyone wants a poster to take back to wherever you live or something, because mainly we just put them around on campus. We don't put them in housing. So if you could just raise your hand if you would like one. Yeah. Thank you. I want to pass these 3 back, and I appreciate that very much. And we also have Patti LaBelle coming. Did y'all know that? We just announced Patti LaBelle. Do you know who she is? She's a powerhouse. And Lady Marmalade, you heard that. Christina Aguilera also did it along with other people. And but she is Lady Marmalade. And she is this big power voice, diva from another era. You don't want to miss it. And that's on the 20th. And it's 2 weeks from today. And we just announced it, so come get your complimentary student ticket at the box office. You can't get in without a ticket. You must show your current ID. If you will help us spread the word, we have plenty of seats left for both. And so we right now are going to have the curtain in for Black Violin, which means we draw up a curtain from the balcony, and it changes the size of the venue to just over 900. And so if y'all get people out and we know that's coming, we won't put the curtain in, which would be awesome. It's so fun. People are standing. It's not like sit down at the Talent Center and watch, people get up and move. So it's, some things are like that, some things aren't. Based on the genre, this one's fun. I hope you'll come. And if you have any questions?
I know that the tickets said that they were limited to students. We also have money for the Black Violin.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
In other words, I'm not going to stop it. Okay. I'll pay for as many as will come. We pay for them for you. So. Yes.
What time did you say it started? During the day?
The daytime thank you for asking. I didn't. 12:30. 12:30 is the school show. And we don't actually have tickets because we do it for school groups. But still come to the box office, show your ID and to get in. Okay? Any other questions? No? We'll announce our season probably in June for next year. Always, if you have ideas of what you'd like us to bring, send me an email. We always want your ideas. I mean, a lot of times students send us ideas of arena artists that we can't do in a 2,000 seat venue, but give them all to me. I'll check them out, see if we can afford to bring them. So, thanks. Yes.
What's your email?
S. Morphew. It looks like Smorphew. SMORPHEW at uttyler.edu. And I'm Susan. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay, now that we have met quorum, Secretary Martin, if you can dispense second roll call, please.
President Steve Austin.
Here.
Vice President Tippleman.
Here.
Treasurer Navarre.
Here.
Secretary Seeley. Here. Senator Balaji. Senator Bell. Here. Senator Cantu. Senator Castellanos.
Here.
Senator Catherwood. Senator Copeland. Senator Dyson. Senator Grimm. Senator Hart. Senator Higgins. Here. Senator Jacobs. Here. Senator Hood. Senator Dwad.
Here.
Senator Job. Senator Johnson.
Here.
Senator McDaniel. Senator McLeod.
Here.
Senator Mohammed.
Here.
Senator Morris.
Here.
Senator Morrison.
Here.
Senator Mosley. Senator Muniz.
Here.
Senator Frady.
Here.
Senator Nagarajan. Here. Senator Novak. Senator Parrish. Here. Senator Patel. Senator Rodriguez. Senator Rogers.
Here.
Senator Ross.
Here.
Senator Severin.
Here.
Senator Shaka. Here. Senator Strothine. Senator Sweetland. Senator Thomas.
Here.
24 exactly. Perfect.
Thank you. If you were voting for, these.
All in favor of approving last week's minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, last week's minutes have been approved. Do you have anyone here for open forum? Okay, we have Mia de la Fuente from Quebec. Yes. Here to speak to us.
Yeah.
So, like Julia said, my name is Mia De La Fuente. I am the intern and chairman of Peers Against Tobacco, which is a student organization on campus. I'll be presenting on findings from our annual cigarette butt pickup this year that occurred on Saturday, March 25th. It did happen on campus, and so this is just like a summary report in the form of a PowerPoint presentation that I came up with. Peers Against Tobacco is a statewide initiative that many different colleges and universities are a part of. The primary focus is the prevention of tobacco use among college-aged individuals. They also have a health education focus. Since we're a part of that program, we receive a semester's worth of curriculum that we follow in order to make sure that we're meeting the requirements for that program. Peers Against Tobacco was a student organization that was instrumental in securing UT Tyler as a tobacco-free campus. This particular event is important to us because it's been roughly a year since we became a tobacco-free campus. So this kind of gave us a snapshot of our success in terms of the enforcement of that policy. So I've divided up the data into tables. If you have any questions at any time, please don't hesitate to ask. I would answer them to the best of my ability. So far there have been 5 collection dates starting in 2014. 2014 is the only year where there were 2 collection dates. March 28th of 2015, we had the highest number of cigarette butts collected to date. However, the entire campus was not surveyed during that time. April 2nd, 2016, there was obviously a large decrease in that number. And then this past one, we had an increase. So we collected 3,062 cigarette butts on campus. And we had a total of 25 volunteers that assisted with that collection. It's important to note that the first 4 collection dates had less than 10 volunteers. So that essentially meant that there was only a very small group of people doing all of the work. The March 25th date, which was this year, was the most successful to date. We had over 25 volunteers, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for us, that is. We were able to finish the project within 2 hours, and we sent the information out as a volunteer event to student organizations to invite them to participate. So just some notes, the tobacco-free policy was implemented in the fall semester, which was August 2016. The data collection that began prior to implementation started in spring 2014. It's important to note that, again, like I said, we're restricted to the UT Tyler campus, but that doesn't mean that we're always able to do that based on like our resources. The 5th collection date had the largest volunteer effort, as I said before, and there was a 39.97% increase in the number of cigarette butts on campus between 2016 and 2017. That's approximately 40%. High traffic areas for tobacco use by location only. So University Pines was 635 cigarette butts alone. There's an asterisk there because we did not have security access into the actual facility, so that's just the perimeter. It doesn't include the parking lots or any spaces within that complex. Next, we have the Fine Arts Complex and parking lot number 12, which is associated through like in the same area. They had 554. The Talent Center came in at 408. The Fee Building and the Power Plant South, they're basically one building, they're connected to each other. 240 cigarettes. The majority of that number came from the power plant. Parking lot number 7 was 230, Ratliff South, 185, and then University Center, 120. And I have some notes on this one as well. So the volunteers who surveyed UPA indicated that they weren't able to physically enter the complex, as I stated before. So the total number of cigarette butts on campus remains unknown, but we'd like to say that we have a pretty good idea of the number of cigarette butts that we would find there. For the future, we're hoping to get security access for a more accurate data collection. So what that would look like is notifying housing and seeing if housing could help us secure volunteers, number 1, and number 2, have those volunteers be a part of the housing staff. So like HAs, RAs, resident coordinators, those types of people to help us. The people who surveyed the UC indicated on their data collection sheet an increase in cigarette butts picked up near the public benches at the front of the building. So we really actually had more cigarette butts picked up where everyone walks in essentially, than around like the perimeter of the area. So when we survey these buildings, we walk the entire perimeter of the area, but we notice in the EC is primarily at the front entrance where the steps kind of lead you into the building. So table 3 is the number of cigarette butts by location. The chart was too big for me to put in a PowerPoint, so I'm just going to pull up my actual report. Sorry. So this report is something that I came up with that I forwarded to HR on campus. They're responsible for the enforcement on campus of this policy. So I broke it down by buildings. The buildings in gray are buildings that we were not able to survey just because, number one, we didn't really know these buildings existed, to be honest with you. So once we found out about these buildings, it was entirely too late for us to actually conduct the surveying portion. So that's a goal for the future. But all the other buildings on campus are listed here in order of appearance on the campus map. So I tried to put them the way that they're listed on that map. And then they're color-coded by the purpose of that building. I also indicated whether there was an adjacent parking lot and then the total number of cigarette butts collected. So this will just give you an idea. The Braithwaite building was very impressive. The administration building was impressive. BEP was impressive. Obviously, we did have, cigarette butts picked up in those locations, but compared to our high traffic areas, they did exceptionally well. HPC was surprising just because it's the Department of Public Kinesiology, so you would think there wouldn't be any cigarette butts there. The health clinic did very well. Modular buildings did well. The library in the past has been a huge hotspot. It's been a very large problem when we weren't tobacco free. And so we're very, very proud of the fact that we only have 14 cigarette butts collected there. In the past, we've had to use physical flags to mark how many cigarette butts were picked up because it was such a hot spot. So we're really proud of that accomplishment. OHAL had 0. We weren't able to survey the Arnellis Activity Center. Patriot Village was another good outcome. The physical plant, power plant north and south. North not so much, but south is definitely a large concern. We hypothesized that has to do with maintenance and the maintenance staff. We had to go out of our way to actually collect those cigarette butts. They were, for lack of a better term, piled up in dirt. So we had to put on gloves and literally pick them up, like we were doing landscaping or something. It was a very lengthy process, but Ratliff, Summer Tennis Center, and the Innovation Academy were not included. It just kind of goes on from there. So let you see that. The pharmacy building also did really, really well, so we're also proud of that as well. And then this just lists how they're color-coded. So yeah. Go back to the slideshow. So then I also broke down the number of cigarette butts collected by parking lot. The campus is undergoing a lot of construction, and so even though it doesn't look like I have the correct order of parking lots, like the parking lot numbers and the locations are all changing and they're constantly changing. So I do apologize for that. I try to be as accurate as possible. The softball and baseball fields did exceptionally well. A lot of times when we think of these sports, we think about tobacco use in the form of dip or smokeless tobacco, chew tobacco. There's a ton of different names. The intramural field did very well, as well as the soccer field. Our parking lots 6 and 7, which surround the Cowan Center, were problem areas, as well as parking lot number 12. And then the rest just kind of speak for themselves. Parking lot 18 and I believe 19 were demolished, where the business building, the new business building was going to be, so that's why they're not listed. So to summarize what we did, we had several volunteers. We had about 20 volunteers from John Tyler High School. The Health and Kinesiology Club was very helpful. And then we had some other student organizations on campus. I believe the Tri-Beta Biology Club, they came as well. We had a couple of random people, for lack of a better term, that just heard about the event and wanted to help. So between April 2nd last year and March 25th of this year, there was approximately 40% increase. Compared to March 28th, when 5,000 bloods were collected, the campus has improved its efforts to limit tobacco use on campus. However, we can infer based on this data that since Eugene Tyler has been designated as faculty campus, there's obviously some sort of discrepancy in enforcement of the policy. So we've improved, but we've also haven't improved at the same time. Goals for the future include making sure that we visit all of the buildings, including the buildings that people think don't really count or nobody goes to, because we want to make sure we're serving our campus, which will be difficult as the school grows, but it's something that we really pride ourselves in being able to say that we survey the whole campus, so it's a priority for us. We also are passionate about having volunteers, and we want to invite all student organizations to become involved in this service event so that we can be united for a common cause. And I personally believe that by making student health and wellness a priority, through community service, UT Tyler will continue to establish itself as a driving force within this community, especially as we expand healthcare-related studies here. Obviously, the pharmacy program will be a large addition, health and kinesiology, nursing are big components of this campus. So I really feel like if we continue to push these efforts, we will be successful. So, does anyone have any questions or opinions or anything?
Thank you so much, Mia. All right, welcome everyone. As you can see, the first units we did not meet quorum, which is absolutely disappointing. I'm very disappointed. There should be no reason that you guys are not attending this weekly meeting unless you guys have an absolute emergency. And if that's the case, you need to submit an absence form. We still have 3 to 4 weeks left. There's still things you guys can do with our Center Project line, with anything in general, helping your constituents. So please, please, please make sure you are here exactly at 5:15. I know I saw a few people kind of come at 5:16, 17, 18, whatever it may be. Please be on time. Again, I always say there's a reason why we meet at 5:15. We have to vote, we have to make discussions, we have to do things to, better this university. So please, please, please be here again. So last Friday, I met with Dr. Tidwell. And just to update you guys a bit, some things I wasn't aware of either, actually. So university is looking at new housing for all the students, mainly freshmen. I know we're kind of overpopulated at the moment, so they're looking at new housing. They're also looking at housing for Greeks. That's kind of been the talk so far. Of course, it's not going to be free. It's going to probably be more expensive for Greeks, if anything. And then there also is going to be new housing renovations soon. I don't know when, but if I find out, I will update you guys on that as well. And then for those who aren't aware, Dr. Tidwell has actually signed a contract with Walmart and a few other places to get our merchandise on their, area. Our Tyler does not have our merchandise at all in any of the restaurants or stores, whatever it may be. So to kind of get that college campus feel, we're going in that direction finally, which is great. So I'm really happy about that. Hopefully in the next few months, and hopefully next year we'll be on that same base. Like I said last week as well as today, we do have money for our Senator Project line. Again, I know Senator McLeod and Senator Bell are working on something right now, which they will be presenting. But other than that, that's all I have. And guys, please make sure you aren't on your cell phones when someone's presenting or we're talking or whoever's talking. It's really disrespectful. So make sure you keep in mind with that as well. But that's all I have. We do have some events coming up soon, which Vice President Templeman will be talking about, which I believe are all mandatory. So if you cannot make it, submit an absence form to Secretary Martin. But is there any questions for me? Yes, Senator Bell.
On the banquet event, is it strictly senators or can we bring the plus?
It is going to be strictly senators.
Okay, yeah, just needed to know.
Thank you. Good question. Any other questions for me? Okay, Vice President Huffman.
I'm going to go over the 2 upcoming events, but or really 3. Start off with Midnight Breakfast is coming up really soon. We pretty much locked that down as far as planning goes. Ordered some shirts, so that's going to be nice and interesting. I really appreciate the Communications Committee really doing a good job on that. Banquet, I really wish we could bring +1s, but I have no money to pay for food, so otherwise I'd say yeah on that one. I wanted to see what everyone's kind of opinion is, maybe just after the meeting, if either starting it at 5:15 like normal or pushing it to about 6 o'clock and going from like 6 to 8. That's really just up to y'all because this is, you know, kind of a celebration of what we've done throughout the year and a transfer to the new people who are coming in. So that's really totally 100% up to y'all. I'm flexible with it. I'll book it according to what y'all say. Glow Rage is hosted by CAB, but we will be helping like we traditionally have as far as setup and cleanup as in our form of our co-sponsorship there. That is going to be mandatory as well, but like Divya said, if you need to turn in an absence form, go ahead and do so as soon as possible. As far as what I've been doing this week, I've started to sit on a couple of new committees. As far as Student Fee Advisory Committee, I've been on that one for a while with Paul and Rada. I'm now part of the Campus Connectivity Committee for Dr. Tidwell for part of the strategic plan. So if any of you people have any ideas as far as like what you would like to see the university connect with the city, also let me know. And that is really about it for me as far as like new stuff. Something that we had neglected to do is pass out the actual like certificates for Senator of the Month. We had voted on them and never had everything in order to do that. And so I will get these two people their certificates throughout this next week, and then we will go in and actually present the new one for March next week. So that's a drop of that was my fault. I dropped the ball on that one. But the January Senator of the Month was Paul Ross for his work on the food pantry project, and the February Senator of the Month was Lindsay Bell.
Any questions for Vice President Councilman, Senator Watt?
That is still to be determined based off of the timing of it. It will most likely, the place I want to hold it is the ballroom, so it's easier for everybody. If not, I'll try the OAC and past that, we'll have to look there.
Other questions for Vice President Councilman? Secretary Martin?
Hi guys, like she said about the absence forms, there's been a disconnect lately with who's not showing up and the absence forms that I have. So if you leave early, if you have class, these are things you've known about all semester. If there's an emergency, let me know over email as soon as you can, and then send me an absence form whenever it's available to you. But please, please, please send me an absence form because we don't want to catch you absent. There's only 3 weeks left. You know, we want to make the rest of the semester count, but I can't read your mind. I don't know where you are. All I know is when I call roll, if you're not here, if we can't get things done for quorum, then it affects the entire organization. As far as midnight breakfast, everyone needs a t-shirt. Everyone needs this SGA t-shirt. So if you do not have one, or if you don't have one anymore, or something happened, you need one. So either just email me and I'll bring them next meeting, or you can come to my office and you can get whatever size. But you do need one for midnight breakfast. So be aware of that. But that's all I have.
Any questions for Secretary Martin? Treasurer Nabar?
This week we only had one purchase of $55 for food for the wilderness organization. Other than that, I've been getting stuff ready for SGAC. The last day to turn in an SGAC application is next Friday. So if you are part of a student org or know any student org, make sure you get that word out. Other than that, I've been working briefly with Senator McLeod and Senator Bell about their senator project, and I'm very excited for them to present today.
Any questions for Treasurer Nabar? Parliamentarian Hewlett?
Election applications were due yesterday. I hope if any of you wanted to run, you turned them in. If not, I deeply apologize. That's too bad. As far as that goes, any election questions, issues, comments will be directed at Treasurer Nabar. I'm sorry to put that on her, but I'm running, so I can't handle that anymore. It's not really ethical. Today we'll be discussing and voting on the Constitution and bylaws. This is kind of something that has to be done today, or else it's not going to get done. So at this time, please pull out your phones, and download a QR code scanner because we will have to scan a QR code to vote via Qualtrics survey. It's the most efficient and accurate way to get all of your votes. With that being said, you're not supposed to be on your phone anyway, but please be sure to save your phone battery so your phone is on so you can vote when we get down to that in the agenda. I think that's all I have going on. Oh, elections are the 19th and 20th That's in like 2 weeks. We'll have flyers soon. Tell your friends to vote. Candidacy meetings? Is that what you were raising your hand for? Okay. Candidacy meetings. I believe the first one is tomorrow at 10:30. That's you. 10:30 to 11:30. That's you.
Yeah.
10:30 to 11:30 is the first one tomorrow. Like, I'm not sure. Good question. Good key. I think it depends on how many people show up.
Where would they show up?
In UC 3400, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't understand your question. Sorry. I think that's it for me. Sorry.
Any questions or comments, Julie?
For those, we assume that everybody has a smartphone and can download it. If you don't have a smartphone, you can download it, okay? You can borrow someone else who does have one, and or you can come and hop on our computer. So we have to get that.
Any other questions? Okay, awesome. Student voice reports, we have College of Nursing.
Well, I've been gone with clinicals, but I asked a couple of people and they were very pleased that the coffee shop is open later. And then some people have asked me about the extra coffee line possible, you know, so you don't have to wait in line. But I know that space is small, so I don't know where they would do that. And then another thing they said was study space, of course. And that's another thing that I know it takes money and takes a lot of planning. I know I've brought up before, like, I know the library wants all their books, you know, on the 3rd floor. Possibly if we could see if that could be a study space instead of like support people. Okay. I don't know where else books would go or that, but.
Have you tried talking to the dean over the study space in the nursing home?
I haven't, but the nursing building's pretty small. There aren't really any extra rooms for study space.
Okay.
You know, as far as the library goes, Dr. Kidwell has looked into the idea of transforming the library into more of a less book, more space, which is the current trend. University libraries now, mostly technological databases for books. So we may see that trend coming. I know. Yeah.
Anything else? Thank you. College of Pharmacy?
Nothing extremely new. I've been working on a senator project, Senator Macau, and you know, but other than that, pretty much some issue working all that. But
What did you talk about? And then you Pines.
I talked with them about a week ago because actually after it happened, but a few people have also told me that they like, except when they give people packages, people have gotten the wrong package or have their package else. I talked with them and they're like having all the RA people like ID check so people don't get the wrong packages. And to address what the Years Against Tobacco rep said, most of the cigarette butts on the outside are because people cross over there to smoke. They think it's off campus. So they just stand outside the thing. But there's way more out there than there are on the inside. I look bad up there.
Okay.
That's all.
Thank you. And then for follow-ups, we have College of Business and Technology. Oh, sorry. No. Okay. Arts and Sciences. Okay. And then student body at large.
Nothing with report.
Guys, let's just make sure that when we have student voice reports, you guys have actually something to address. I know there are several concerns, whether it be on residential life or student affairs, whatever it may be, or within your college. So please talk to your constituents and ask them what's up, any concerns, issues, and ask for follow-ups. If you guys have nothing to follow up with, that's completely fine. But if you have an issue that you addressed last week, please make sure to let us know if that solution has been fixed or if we need to do something as the executive board to get this fixed. And then committee reports, we have student life.
We worked on some ideas over basically like decorations and for the banquet. That's really the only thing that we're going to be looking at for the rest of the semester, and so that's all we've done the last.
Okay, thank you. Communications?
We mostly worked on trying to find all the decorations and everything to get ready for banquet. Still working on that, but I have all the orders in for all the marketing staff, so hopefully we'll get those things trickling in the next couple days, hopefully all by Monday. So next week, hope people all be bombarded with midnight breakfast.
Thank you. SGAC?
SGAC reviewed 3 requests this past week. The first one was for the Art and History Association for their 3rd annual art symposium. They asked for, or they requested $375.72 for kind of snacks and lunch to have throughout the day, and we approved them for $375.72. The second one was for the Student Veterans Organization, and they're having an Easter egg hunt during Patriots Week, and they're asking for kind of different ideas or different items to give out during their Easter egg hunt. And they asked for $99.06, and they were approved for $99.06. And then the Psychi/Psychology Club requested $192.32 for granola bars, waters, and some beads to give out for their suicide awareness walk. But sadly, we cannot fund that because there are other departments funding it. And according to our SJP guidelines, we cannot fund anything that's being funded by another department.
Thank you. Student Affairs? Why do you always do this?
It's okay, because we didn't meet this week because we're still waiting on election flyers because the other half of our job is working with elections. And so once we get those flyers, Rules Committee can meet and post those literally everywhere.
Okay, awesome. Student Affairs?
We finalized the post Sodexo survey, which I will present next week. Because I'm looking at new businesses kind of pattern. So we'll present that in next week. This survey will only be attached to the election. It'll say after you elect, it'll say, would you like to take a survey on Sodexo? If they say yes, then we go to the survey. If they say no, then the survey. That's the goal.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And President's Council.
All right, so just a reminder, we're doing karaoke on the 26th. Wednesday. We still got Sodexo, hopefully still doing pretty good for us. And there'll be some games. We'll also discuss some like club, show your club colors, just wear your club t-shirts for your club. And we also discuss first president's council, the actual or next week. So we're just going over on that.
Okay. Thank you. Old business? Parliamentarian Stewart?
Motion to open discussion on the amendments to the Constitution.
Okay, all in favor of opening a discussion over the amendments of the bylaws? Constitution, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, discussion is now open.
I'm doing Constitution first because the balance was.
Okay. Parliamentarian Stewart?
So I know it was a while ago. It was like 5 weeks ago, I think, because the Constitution's sit for 30 days. But we presented the amendments, and so this is the opportunity you have to kind of ask questions or make comments about anything that you saw. I have them up on the screen if you want to look at them. And at the end of this, we'll have a vote. I think, Joshua, you're going to pull up the survey also, or the ballot, whatever you want to call it. Yes, this is the Constitution that we looked at. I don't want to take up a ton of your time because I know our agenda is pretty full re-presenting them. But if you want me to scroll through them really quickly or anything of that nature, we can do that. Or if you remember anything that was said or any amendments that are made, I want to have a discussion.
Vice President Company?
Would you be willing to go over the ones that are not grammatical or the renumberings and just scroll through those?
Just the actual, okay, yeah.
So like actual edits, not so much
I can do that.
grammatically numbering.
Yeah, grammar and numbering. That makes sense.
Okay, so the first edit that was made that is not grammar or numbering is the change from the requirements to campaign for an officer position being changed from 6 academic weeks from your swearing date to 15 academic weeks, which is 1 long semester. So either a fall or spring, you'll have to have been a senator for 1 semester.
So is that, they have to be a senator for a full semester to like officially run, or by the time if they get elected, by that time it will have been a full?
I think,
Okay,
we're in
common
discussion.
sense.
So, the way that this reads and the intended interpretation is in order to file and campaign for an officer position. So before you can submit an application to run to be an officer, you must have been a senator in the SGA for 15 academic weeks from your swearing date.
Sorry, this might be a stupid question, but is that consecutive 15 weeks or?
It says 1 long semester, which that would be up to judicial board if someone wanted to sort of contest that fact, but the intended interpretation is 1 long semester, so 15 consecutive weeks. But if someone did contest that, it would be a judicial board thing. Okay, so this one. Okay, so this was added. The executive board, this was not any sort of subsection that existed before, is what I mean. The executive board shall set 1 day per month that on the chosen day, the executive board will spend a minimum of 1 hour in campus dining facilities interacting with students and raising awareness for SGA. And then we removed subsections E and F that says to set the absence, the SGA absence policy by the first day of scheduled classes, and to set the SGA dress code policy by the first day of scheduled classes. Here, in this section, we changed the requirement for the president to notify the Senate of a special session from 48 hours to 72 hours. So that's all it was. Here, this we changed from the secretary meeting to post the minutes 48 hours after the adjournment of the meeting to 48 hours before the next meeting. So that's here we added this subsection that. Yes, this wasn't in there before, and it says any vote taken by the General Assembly that involves a person, group, or organization outside of the personnel of the SGA will be made only once the outside parties left the room / space in which the meeting occurs. What? But it's okay? Okay, sorry, it didn't look like this on the other computer. We added this section that says senators will be responsible for assigning senator ambassadors to other student organizations on campus. Senator ambassadors will attend meetings of their assigned student organizations to increase awareness and gain knowledge of campus needs and wants to bring back to the General Assembly.
Very daunting task. That's fine. So I don't know if they're uncomfortable.
What is the purpose, like what is the need for that?
I don't know if any of y'all remember, but back in the fall, Preston and I attended a conference that was designed for student government executive boards, like around all pretty much over everywhere, right? That's like a national thing. Okay, anyhow, this was something that's really successful at a lot of schools because, I mean, I see it every week. There's nothing to report. There's nothing to report during your reports, and that's not helping anyone. And so it's really successful at a lot of other schools to have their senators attend or sit in meetings of other organizations to kind of know, like, what are these other students that are involved on campus struggling with? What are things that other students need and want? It's just like a way to glean more information so that we do have something to report and discuss every week.
I'm sorry, Mike doesn't have.
I like the idea of getting more information. However, I think that this particular way of doing it is redundant because of the formation of President's Council. I think President's Council serves that purpose, and that was one of the intended purposes of creating that organization or subcommittee. Committee at this point will be on. So I feel if we just glean information from like a reporting officer from President's Council, we would see the same results.
I do have to note, because I did, since you brought it up, this amendment was voted on in the fall before President's Council was created. So I do agree with Vice President Templeman that President's Council serves this purpose. This was already made and voted on, so I couldn't remove it. Y'all have the opportunity to vote yes or no, but I do agree that President's Council serves this purpose, but this was done before President's Council was created.
Would this also include Creek Light?
Yeah, each individual and the councils are
Then yes,
not being used as a council.
then yes.
Not individually.
I don't know. Can I make a comment?
Sure.
Okay. As being chair of President's Council, I do want to state that it's being completely restructured after the semester. So I don't know if that's something you want to take into consideration. So I'm just going to say that. Senator Ross?
Like, senator ambassadors be separate, or be senators within SGA, would they be separate? Like, would they do them over years?
The reading is so that senators will be assigned to be an ambassador to another group. They'll still be a senator, but when they attend that meeting, they don't have to be a part of that group. They're just an ambassador from SGA, where they'll sit in on another group's meeting and sort of bring information back to us on what's going on around campus and what's going on with other students. Vice President.
I also want to warn against that part right there, because if it says senators will be responsible for assigning ambassadors, that means that the secondary person is going on behalf of the senator. But if we make it something that the senators have to do, we would not retain very many people in the Senate because they'd be stressed out over the amount they do. And you'd have conflicting schedules and whatnot. I don't think that would be true.
Yeah, I understand now that you said that. That's what the interpretation is supposed to be, but I agree. I was thinking when I was reading it that it was another person that would be assigned outside of SGA. So that's just a little bit confusing.
So this change is very specific to judicial board. It was originally sort of a very convoluted system of assigning commissioners to judicial board on odd years. Some were appointed on even years, some were appointed. And now it reads, commissioners shall be appointed each year by the president and approved by the General Assembly. Oh, I have no idea what's going on with that. It now reads, commissioners shall be appointed.
Yeah, look towards the top, where's the top share. Minimize, make this videos from the phone.
No. Okay. Sorry, I'll start over with this one. Commissioners shall be appointed each year by the president and approved by the General Assembly with a 2-year term limit. Replacement commissioners may be appointed to fulfill the remainder of a former commissioner's term as necessary. We removed the section that reads if 3/4 of the elected members of the SGA favor the amendment, it must be submitted to the student body for approval or disapproval. And this is talking about, like, if we approve an amendment to the Constitution, it then has to be voted on by the student body. We removed that requirement.
Here in ratification, we deleted the part of this sentence that reads 2/3 majority of students voting on said amendment in election because subsequently we removed the need for students to approve this. And then we also removed the executive vice chancellor after approval by the Board of Regents through its prescribed procedures, because in previous years, any changes to an SGA constitution had to be sent to the UT System Board of Regents to be approved by the executive vice chancellor, and that is no longer something that the Board of Regents and the executive vice chancellor does. That's like not a thing that they do at all anymore. So we felt it was unnecessary to have this part in our constitution. And the final change to the constitution was that we removed this section that reads, when a newly elected or appointed representative swears their oath of office, all currently serving members of the SGA in attendance except for the president shall simultaneously reaffirm their oath of office by repeating the oath. That's all the actual content changes that occurred.
Sorry, Senator Raji?
Motion to close discussion.
Okay, all in favor of closing discussion, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, discussion over the Constitution is now closed. Parliamentary and Sealy.
Motion to vote on constitutional amendments.
Second.
Okay, all in favor of voting on constitutional amendments, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions?
No, because discussion was closed.
All right, Constitution is not been voted on.
No,
No,
we
no,
voted
we
on
need
it.
approval. Okay,
Yeah, we,
can I,
that's what we just did.
yeah,
All in favor, say aye.
You already
done that part?
Yeah.
yeah, but don't we need to?
All that's done. Now we vote with
We just
Oh, now we
right?
vote the QR.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry, I
That
thought we were
was-
in the call, sorry, I'm so
we
sorry.
closed and then we made a motion to vote. Now we're voting.
We're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Yes, we're good.
All right, so this is the time you will pull out your QR code reader. You will scan that code.
If you're like in the back and your phone won't get it, you feel free to come up to the front. Or he's mega zoomed in, that's cool.
Chris Thomas. Okay. Does everybody have it?
No, not yet. One second. It's so wrong.
Can you pull it up? For a second.
That's what I'm doing. I need to
No.
make sure everybody has this first.
Sorry, one second. It's still going. It says I don't have access to the camera. Okay, we got it.
Okay. Does my Zoom folks have it? Galen, let me know when you're ready.
Oh, can I say something about this? Okay.
I'll show you. Quickly.
Okay, really quickly about the survey, just to clarify on what some of these pieces mean, like you'll have a question that says Article 1 bullet point update. That refers to the automatic change of numbering that occurs when you add or delete a section. That's what those format updates are talking about. We do technically have to vote on those even though the document automatically did them, but when we change or add something. That's what that means, if there was any confusion.
You're good. Yami, are you good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we are now, I'm going to kind of skim through. That way you kind of know what you're voting on.
gosh.
No, you're done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Does anybody need me to go back to another session? Is there anybody else still voting?
Can I go back to 2.16?
On what article?
I mean, 2, sorry.
Article 2?
Jacob came in, so
Yeah, we're good.
we're just at.
This one?
Exactly.
Right. Right.
And you
Okay. Is that it? Danley and Bria, are y'all good? Danley and Bria, are y'all good on voting? So the thing is, if there's
Flesh, can I get the flesh? So I did that also.
We can try and
How many voting members do we have here?
24. Well, we had 25, and now we have 24. Yeah, she finished, for sure.
All right. So everybody's voted. So the cool thing is, all of y'all's responses are anonymous, so I don't know who voted for what. Instead of waiting and taking recesses for me to count, I can just click the button.
Hey, Joshua, can we do this later? There are people who turn in absence forms who have to leave early, so we'll lose quorum.
Bylaws we can vote next week.
Bylaws we can vote next week? Because they don't have to sit for it. Okay, never mind. We're good. Cool.
This is the big one.
Cool. You're right, you're right.
All right, so, yes.
Yeah. I was just gonna motion.
They're not
That-
open, so
that
you don't
can
have
be
to do
done.
them. They're not open, so you don't have to do them. If we get to that, we should, like, can I entertain a motion? No one motioned.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Continue.
Okay, so I'm gonna scroll through.
No worries. So, that was,
So there's-
oh, no, not approved.
Which one?
This one. I don't know which one that is, but we have to have 3/4 still. And,
Will you make note which is not approved?
yeah. One second, don't scroll.
It's not approved.
Yeah, it has to have 75.
And if it impacts formats are automatically not approved.
Okay. Wait, which one is it? Okay, yeah, that one's good.
But this one is.
Yeah, but this one,
Are we allowed to present the results
you can't
next
just,
week?
Well, okay, this is what I mean. Like, we added a new one, so that became E, and the old E became F, G,
Okay,
blah, blah, blah.
okay.
So we removed
sure.
the old E. Yeah, so that one's good. That one's good. That one's also good. Oh, wait, no, it's not good. Wait, it's the format change.
oh, we'll
Yeah.
look at it.
Yeah.
88%.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, hold on. I can't read the thing.
That's the investors.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Oh, good deal.
You would? You can look out. Finally. I did it too.
Well,
That's
that one
exactly
was the
that.
format change, so it automatically is a no. Okay, that one's good. That's the last one. That one's good.
I hope.
I'm curious on the last.
Yeah. So,
That one's good.
Oh.
Hey, well done.
Hey, man, I'm gonna miss that.
no, you're not.
Okay. Any questions? Results? I'll say 25, which is how many voting members we have today, so it's accurate.
We have 25.
Fastest voting count ever. Who's gonna see? She voted for herself.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, so,
What do you-
Hey Josh, so we have a senator who's leaving right now, and so we can't do anything else. We can't
yeah,
vote.
because we're not in quorum anymore. But she like sent an absence form, that was just like.
You send it in a.
No, I know, you sent an absence form.
She's still counting.
So we're out of.
You
Yeah, we
Do
ran
we
out.
have to do second roll call or third roll call?
can try, but you already know what the goal is.
Yeah,
Well, it would just record who's still here.
Oh, yes, do a final.
Yeah.
alright,
So final
So we're
roll
done.
call and then-
The advisor comments, announcements are all not.
we can't move forward,
the next week,
I guess.
okay.
Because he sent the bylaws anyway.
All right, guys, we need to make sure we meet quorum next week. Please be here. We have a senator project that was going to be presented today, and I'm sure they probably want our approval today as well, and now we can't do that. This has to be pushed back a week. So make sure you're here. If you're not, send an absence form. But guys, we literally have 3 more meetings left, or 2 more meetings before the banquet. Be here.
It's not too much to ask for. It's an hour and a half meeting out of your day. Please tell your friends to be here, or tell your other senators to be here. But I guess with that being said, meeting adjourned.
Final roll.
Are we still doing roll call?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Ooh, okay.
Take it back.
Secretary Martin, can you dispense the roll call, please?
President Austin.
Here.
Vice President
Here.
Bowman. Vice Chair Navarre. Martin J. Seeley. Here. Senator Balaji. Senator Baker. Senator Bell. Here. Senator Cantu. Senator Castellanos. Senator Catherwood.
Mosley did not send any sort of
Yeah, he
official
did.
resignation to us.
And I forwarded that to you. Did you put that in there?
I'm sorry.
That's still my.
It's not on my email.
What was the?
I forwarded that to you
number?
yesterday.
That goes to 36.
Senator Copeland.
We would still need 24.
Yeah.
We would still need 24.
Senator Dyson.
I know who's wrong.
Senator Grimm.
Why is wrong?
Senator Hart. Senator Higgins. Here. Senator Jacobs. Here. Senator Hood. Senator Dwight. Senator Joe. Senator Johnson.
Here.
Senator McDaniel. Senator McLeod. Senator Mohammed. Senator Morris.
Here.
Senator Morrison.
Here.
Senator Mosley, not. Senator Nunez. Senator Brady.
Here.
Senator Nagarajan. Senator Novak. Senator Parrish. Senator Patel. Senator Rodriguez. Senator Rogers.
Here.
Senator Ross.
Here.
Senator Severin. Senator Shaka. Here. Senator Shortide. Senator Sweetland.
Here.
Senator Thomas.
Meeting adjourned. Okay.
There's still cupcakes up here for anyone who wants one. So, hey Paul, I have yours.